Please help support the channel by visiting our Amazon store, affiliate link below. Hey, what's going on everyone? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is the Mundane Matt channel, and 2017 has been an odd year when it comes to gender discrimination against men. Now, I want to put that in air quotes only for the lefties that are coming here, the feminists, the male feminists, that are like, you can't discriminate against men. It is entirely not possible to be sexist against men. You can't do it. You just can't do it. No, you can. And it was evidenced pretty plainly by the whole situation with the Alamo Drafthouse and their Wonder Woman woman-only screenings in Austin, Texas, Brooklyn, New York, as well as Denver, Colorado, and how they were sued as a result of that. Now we have this one right here, which is just crazy to me, where comedian Iliza Shlesinger was sued over a women-only comedy show. Really? Like, that's just... I'm kind of like, you know, you figure comedians would really just want to get everybody in there, right? Especially if it's a female comedian talking about female things, you'd want to have a male audience because you would kind of be at that point, you know, teaching them or using it as a teachable moment, which is what you hear a lot from comedians. Like, oh, I like it when this happens because I can talk to these people. Now, the lawsuit claims Girls' Night In violates California law prohibiting discrimination based on sex. So a man has sued comedian Iliza Shlesinger, claiming her women-only comedy show Girls' Night In violates the law. The defendant, George St. George, claims he and a friend bought $30 tickets to a Girls' Night In show November 13th at the Largo on the Coronet Theater in Los Angeles. Upon arriving at the Largo, the pair were given tickets but allegedly told they'd have to sit in the back. When they returned to the theater later for the start of the show, the suit alleges that a Largo employee told them that Shlesinger and the theater had decided that the two would not be allowed to enter and would be given refunds. Okay. See, now it is the right of the business, to be fair, to, you know, refuse service if they want. They have that ability. But generally, they need to kind of have a pretty good reason. You know what I mean? Like, you can't sit there and be like, hey, you're black, I don't like you. Get out of here. It will never work out well. Now, on the Largo website, Schlesinger's Girls' Night In is described as a hybrid stand-up show, an interactive discussion between Iliza and the women in the audience aimed at giving women a place to vent in a supportive, fun, and inclusive environment. She invites women from all walks of life to come, laugh with her, and at her, and be ready to share and feel safe for an awesome night of comedy and love. Now, if you recall, the Alamo Drafthouse Wonder Woman women-only screening was similar in terms of its themes. It wasn't like an interactive experience. It was just like, come here, be away from all the dirty penises, you know, and female power and all that stuff. And as you can see at the relevant article at the top of the image here. So yeah, it's a little bit similar, but the thing is that the Alamo Drafthouse never actually turned anybody away. When I called them to talk about it, they were implying that I wouldn't be able to go without telling me I wouldn't be able to go. But as we've seen from this, they shut this guy out. Now, the suit, however, argues that the show, in its full title, Girls' Night In with Iliza, No Boys Allowed, violates several California laws, including the Unruh Civil Rights Act. It also cites the 1985 Supreme Court Corey versus Metro Car Wash, which effectively banned the so-called Ladies' Night promotions. It even claims the treatment of St. George and his friend is akin to the injustices perpetrated during the civil rights movement. Now, while I did argue heavily that the Wonder Woman screenings for the Alamo Drafthouse were a civil rights violation and that who knew a movie like that would lead to that kind of discussion, it is still kind of funny to say out loud that this person legitimately argued that in a lawsuit. You know, like legitimately tried saying like, what happened to us was as bad as what happened in the 1960s. I want to say no. I do, because I feel that's right. But at the same time, I think thematically, maybe they're not wrong. That's their feeling on it. And if they are being, you know, denied entry, denied access to what can only be described as a public accommodation, because it's a public comedy theater, you can buy tickets, it's open to the public, they cannot actually bar you from doing so. Now, other people might bring up the whole situation involving the baker not wanting to, you know, make the gay couple a wedding cake, and how that's going to the Supreme Court. And honestly, that's a tough one in and of itself, simply because he was a public accommodation. He can't discriminate, right? Where this is where it's a tough issue to discuss. That one is not this though. I just want to make that abundantly clear. So it says St. George 21 has previously filed lawsuits challenging Ladies' Night's promotions. He is reportedly seeking only the statutory damages for the violations of the Unruh Act. Now, so this is a guy. So this is a guy at 21 years old, by the way, 21-year-old guy who goes around and he files lawsuits for these kind of promotions. So you can almost pretty much figure out that by the time he, when he came across this event, he already went in with that particular thing. He already went in with that mindset. He was like, I'm gonna buy a ticket. My homie gonna buy a ticket. We gonna go. We don't get in. We gonna sue. There's that. He already went in with a lawsuit in mind. He went in ready to litigate. I fucking hate people like that. I really do. I really do hate people like that, because it's like you have to be willing to give the other side the chance to maybe see the error of their ways. And I understand that in many cases a lawsuit might be the only way to actually do that. But that being said, I still really dislike it. I just feel like it's going in there with that mindset to file a lawsuit comes across to me as scummy. It just does. It comes across to me as scummy. Because you're going in there looking to, he's only looking for the statutory damages, so he's not trying to make a profit. But there are people out there that would go around and they'd go to businesses and they'd look to see, oh, are you in violation of the ADA? Is your business wheelchair accessible? And then they would sue you in order to force you to do it, and they would collect money. That's how they earn their living, suing businesses to put in wheelchair ramps. Like, yeah, cool. I understand that it's probably a necessity to have a wheelchair ramp. Absolutely. But it also feels extremely scummy. And this is very much in the same vein as that. Now, it says Mr. St. George and the other men were prohibited from entering the Coronet Theater and taking in this comedy show solely because of their sex, which unsurprisingly violates several California anti-discrimination laws. Rava said in a statement to the Rolling Stone. And the thing is, it's all they would have to say if they want to get in is, well, no, today I identify as a woman, and they probably wouldn't let you in. That would have been funny. Like if his buddy would have been like, oh, I identify as a woman, and they would have let his friend in. And he's like, wait, hold on. Like, that would, I think probably would have been a better argument. Like I would have played that angle. Again, it's scummy, but that's where my mind would have gone. I would never have done it. I don't think I would have done it like, I probably would have recorded it and put it up online, definitely, but like sued him, I wouldn't have gone in there to sue him, I should say. So Schlesinger did say this. Since this is a legal matter, I'm unable to comment to the specifics of this lawsuit. I will say that of the many shows I do throughout the year, Girls Night In was a singular evening that encouraged women to get together, talk, and laugh about the things we go through, as well as donate some money to Planned Parenthood. It's unfortunate that the show has now become an issue. Yeah, but the show became an issue because you made it an issue. Let's just be realistic there, right? You made it an issue, Iliza. You did, personally. You in the Coronet Theater. When you were like, no boys allowed, you made it an issue, right? If you had been like, it's Girls Night In, the likelihood of men showing up would have been minimal. Like it would have been probably minimal. But then when you're like, no boys allowed, it's almost like you're daring them to show up. You're daring people to troll you in real life. And when they do, and in this case, this was not like a thinly veiled troll. This was a real troll. You gave him exactly what he wanted, and now he's got you essentially by the short and curlies. That's just true. Meanwhile, St. George's attorney, Alfred Rava, has reportedly filed 150 complaints against California businesses over the Unruh violations. In an email to Variety, Rava said, at no time should an entertainer or entertainment venue require female patrons or male patrons to sit in the back of the theater based solely on their sex. Rava notably once served as secretary of the National Coalition of Men, a nonprofit men's rights group that attempts to highlight, among other things, false rape accusations and the myth that men don't do their fair share of the housework. Rava says he's no longer a member of that group. Now, this is the thing. This is the thing. This is going to be hailed, or heralded, I should say, as, a men's rights activist is suing Iliza Shlesinger over this whole thing, right? Shlesinger, there we go. Like, I can't pronounce her name, apparently. That's what they're going to say. That's what the articles are going to come out against us. They're going to come out and they're going to attack it. Never mind how it's happening. Let's actually look at the whole situation. She was holding an event that allowed for public to come in, right? It was at a public accommodations. People off the street could come and buy a ticket to the show. $30 gets you in the front door. Doesn't matter what the theme of it is. That's the thing. It's a public accommodation. She says, "Hold on here, no dudes allowed. Let's give them the refund and boot them out," thinking that's going to be that. No, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way because and again, this happened with the Wonder Woman thing. Stop for just a hot moment and think to yourself, what would happen if this was on the other foot? Right? Or if anything here, if any role here was reversed, if it was, like whites night in, no blacks only, and then a black guy showed up and he's like, "I'd like to go see this event," and they're just like, "Get out of here," and they turn the fire hose on him. That would be a civil rights violation. Everyone would think that, no questions asked. If it was guys night in, no women allowed, and a woman came in and she got the same fire hose treatment, it would be a civil rights violation. They call it sexism, they call it discrimination, misogyny, all of these things. All of these things would be, all these headlines would say it. But when it's two men who are denied entry, is it fair that you call it misandry? Yes, they were barred entry based upon their little twig and berries and their Y chromosome. So yes, as crappy as I think it was to go there with the intent to file a lawsuit, they are well within their legal right to do so. They will probably end up winning or settling this case, and it should serve as a warning to any other venue out there that if you try to run an event like this, your likelihood of being sued by somebody like St. George and his attorney, who are on the hunt for these kind of lawsuits, is very high, and it's something that you should probably not engage in, because that's the whole issue here. Ultimately, is equality. Barring somebody entrance from a public accommodation, not equality. If Iliza would have rented out the theater for a private event and given out tickets on her own, that would not be a problem, because she would have already rented the space. She would have already gotten all the tickets, and she would have already taken care of all that stuff. It would have been a private event, and she could have given out the ticket to whoever she wanted. This wasn't that. And that is why it was illegal, and that is why these guys will win their case. But I do want to know your guys' thoughts about this one. Let me know in the comments below. My name, of course, is Matt Jarbo. This is the Mundane Matt channel. If you like what I do here, watching me read articles, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe and check back often for more content from me, because I love what I do and I wouldn't be here without you. And if you do like what I do and you want to see more, hey, you can do so right now.